Okay, so American Horror Story episode 12 series 1, which is the final episode. So I'm just going to say right off the bat, it was disappointing, I would say. The trailer, which was shown at the end of episode 11, made this one look really epic. I mean, it did look like a lot was going to be going on. So of course I was disappointed when I finally watched episode 12. I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't hate it or dislike it. I still liked it, but it wasn't great. It wasn't great, I would say. It was good. So, like all the other episodes, I really liked. I've just enjoyed every single episode. I think they've all been great. But this is the first time I've kind of thought less about an episode. And it's just a shame, because of course this is the final episode, so obviously you want the final episode to be good, more so than the other episodes. So of course it's really disappointing that the worst episode of the series was this episode. I know a lot of people hated this episode, but because I really like the show, I guess I'm a lot more light. I'm more kind to the show. I'm more generous with when I'm reviewing it, I think. So even if an episode is worse than the others, I still like it just because I really like the show. So I guess my overall thoughts on the series has kind of influenced my opinion on the final episode. But yeah, I don't think it was awful or bad or anything. It was still good, but it was definitely disappointing, I will say that. So the trailer at the end of episode 11, it showed all this stuff like Ben being rather aggressive to Constance. You know, when he says stuff like, lock your door and hope I don't come back. And when he says stuff like that, they kind of made it out to be as if Ben and Constance would basically be like a little war between the two of them. And it would end with one of them dying, I guess, or both of them dying. So it basically looked like a Ben versus Constance episode. That's what the trailer made it seem like. And of course, well, it wasn't like that. Nothing like that, in fact. For example, like in the trailer as well, another really cool moment, they showed Ben in the rubber suit and he's holding a gun and pointing at someone off screen. So I was kind of assuming it was Constance, because throughout the trailer they're trying to make it out to be a Constance versus Ben episode. And of course, when Ben has the gun in the rubber suit, he's just pointing it at the... Oh, okay. Leave now if you don't want spoilers. That's one thing I forgot to mention. There will be spoilers throughout this whole entire review. So leave now if you don't want spoilers. Okay, so... yeah, so it was disappointing. So I'm going to talk about the things I didn't like, of course. Okay, let's just talk about... okay, spoilers, of course, you leave now. So let's talk about Ben's death. So I was pretty confident that Ben was going to die in this episode. In the trailer, when you see him with the gun and he sticks it into his mouth, it was pretty obvious he wasn't going to die at that moment. So I was confident that he wasn't going to die at that moment, because why would they spoil the death of the main character in the trailer? So I was kind of like, nah, he's not going to die by there. And of course he didn't die by there when I finally watched the episode. So I wasn't really surprised in that scene when Vivian stopped him from blowing his brains out. So, at the end, I don't think this was in the US trailer, because of course, like I said before, the UK and US trailers are different to each other. But in the UK trailer, at the very end of the trailer, they show Hayden on the stairs, and then she's like, where do you think you're going, Ben? You didn't think I could just let you leave? And then Ben's at the top of the stairs, and after she says that, someone behind Ben throws a noose around his neck, and then the trailer just cuts off there. So when I saw the trailer and I saw that moment where they throw the noose around Ben's neck, I was kind of like, okay, again, just like when he sticks the gun into his mouth, there's no way in hell they're going to kill him off in that scene, because why would they show in the trailer? So I finally watched the episode, and this scene occurred about 10 minutes into the episode. I'm not 100% sure, about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, I don't know. It was before the first adverts, like the first break, I know that. At least I think it was. I haven't seen the episode since Monday, and it's Saturday now, so I'm not 100% sure now. But basically, they kill Ben off in about 10 or 15 minutes. So of course, because when I saw the trailer, like I was thinking to myself, no way are they going to kill him off in that scene, because why would they spoil the death of a main character in the trailer? So when I finally watched it, you could imagine my shock when he actually does die. So they throw the noose around his neck, and the guys from episode 2 manage to push him over the banister, and he gets hung. on the stairs. And yeah, that's it. So Ben's body's just hanging there, and you know, he's like swinging around, trying to climb up the rope or whatever for like 20 seconds or so before he finally dies or goes unconscious. And then it just cuts to the adverts when he's hanging there dead. So I was kind of sitting there, it was pretty suspenseful, I'll say that. So I was eagerly anticipating for the break to finish, for the adverts to finish and the show to begin again. And because I was kind of thinking, okay, no way, I was kind of, at this point I was kind of worried or suspicious that, okay, he might actually be dead by here. So, because I was expecting for when the adverts to come back on, like the rope would snap or something and he'd be okay. And as soon as the adverts come back on, I think we were with Constance at this point, so she's kind of investigated by the police, and it turns out she reported Ben's suicide, and they're like questioning her on how she found Ben's body and stuff. So it's just like, so okay, so he is actually dead. So you could, because after seeing it in the trailer, I wasn't expecting him to die by there, and I'm not pissed off or anything. I mean, yeah, they kind of showed the start of the scene where he dies, like when he gets a noose thrown around his neck. So I was kind of like, he's not going to die by there, and of course he does actually die in that scene. So I was really shocked by that. And it's not as if this isn't a complaint or anything. Like, I wasn't pissed off or anything. Like, nothing like that. In fact, it was good because they showed that scene in the trailer. I was even more shocked when they actually did kill him in that scene. So in that regards, I'm not pissed off or anything. I'm fine with them showing that scene in the trailer. Like, I'm not angry that they spoiled it or anything. I'm fine. I'd just like to throw that out there. But I'm just saying how unexpected it was when they killed him off there. Because this, of course, Ben and Constance are the only two important characters, you know, characters that affect the story. Because you have people like the black cop, you know, the two cops, the black security guard, that sort of stuff. I think he's called Luke, I don't know. But basically, the characters that actually matter to the storyline, the only ones left alive who actually matter to the storyline are Constance and Ben, and the baby. But for those two characters to be the only ones which actually matter, and to kill one off within the first 15 or 20 minutes, I was really shocked by that. So, of course, Unpredictable Things is really good. So, you know, kudos for that to them for having the balls to kill off the main character so soon. So then, like, Constance is the only character left alive. Okay, so I was fine with them killing off Ben in the first 15 minutes. I know a lot of people were pissed off at it, and I've heard a lot of people saying online that they wish that his death was like a lot more grand. Like, he just gets hung. Like, he has like a 20-second fight with the home invaders from the second episode, and then they push him over the banister and he gets hung. And he's just kind of hanging there for like 20 seconds, and then he finally dies. But I guess a lot of people just wish, I've seen a lot of people wishing his death was a lot more drawn out, or a lot more, well, just grand, I guess. I'm not sure what the word, I'm trying to look for the word, but I can't really think of it at this moment. But I just wished his death was bigger than it actually was. But personally, I was fine with it. I didn't mind the way they killed him off. I was okay with it. And a lot of people hated the episode and were pissed off at the fact that they actually killed Ben in the first 10 minutes. So it wasn't just the way he died, it was the fact that he did die in the first 10 minutes. And personally, again, I didn't mind. I was okay with that. And I will just say this, I really, really like Constance's reaction. Because it just cuts to her. She's just standing there smoking and she's like, "You stupid son of a bitch." And then the camera kind of rotates around her to show her looking at Ben's body hanging from the ceiling. I just liked her reaction to seeing him dead. That was great. Okay, so this is where I thought the episode went downhill. I mean, the first 20 minutes were great. I was fine with them. I was like, yeah, sure, this is fine for a finale. I don't mind. It's all good. But when the new family moved in, that's where I thought it went downhill. To be honest with you, the whole entire sequence with the new family, it just bored me, to be honest. Yeah, I just didn't like it. I just found it boring. I mean, it's not as if I was bored out of my mind. It still had my attention, but I thought it was just a little bit boring. Like, I still invested like my attention into the show. Let's say that. It held my attention, but this is mostly because I really love the show, and of course I'm interested in where the storyline is going to go anyway. So let's say this was like a standalone episode of a standalone, you know, just a standalone episode, not part of the TV show, I would be pretty bored. But because this is American Horror Story, that was like the only reason I was paying attention to it. But yeah, I just found it pretty boring, to be honest, the whole sequence with the new family. Or not boring, just when compared to all the other moments of the show, it just didn't live up to that. Like, I didn't feel any tension, or there wasn't any suspense. I didn't really, like, obviously I didn't care for the characters, I didn't care for the new family. And I just didn't care. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't like the whole deal with the new family. I was just like, whatever, I just don't care about this. So that's one thing I didn't like about the finale. But of course, I guess it makes sense to show this family moving in, because after killing off Ben, it's kind of like, where else can they go with the story? So basically the rest of the episode, Ben gets killed off within the first 20 minutes, and Constance gets the baby. There we go, the episode is finished there. The conflict is over. So that's one thing about the finale, it's kind of like, in TV show finales, you always want something big going on, like some major villain, or some really big event in the storyline going on throughout the whole entire episode, like some sort of conflict. But that's the thing, this episode didn't have conflict. I mean, in the first 20 minutes, Ben dies, Constance gets the baby. The arc throughout the series is finished. Ben is dead, Constance has the baby. And then the last 40 minutes of the episode, they're just a standalone episode, which is Ben, Vivian, well, all the ghosts trying to get the new family out of the house, trying to scare them off. So that's the rest of the episode, or at least the middle portion of the episode. Like, I guess you can divide it into 3 portions. The first third of the episode would be Ben, and he gets killed at the end of it. The middle portion, the second third of the episode, it's basically the new family moving in and the Harmons scaring them off. And then the final part of the episode, the final portion, it's just the Harmon family trying to basically accepting the fact that they're dead and they're ghosts now. So it's just like, there's no conflict throughout the episode. As soon as Ben's dead, Constance has the baby, that's it, the story is over. Or at least the overall series arc is over, and then you get like a standalone episode. But I guess the family kind of had a purpose, I guess, because it's showing what the Harmons will do for the rest of eternity. So I guess they're just going to scare off any new family that tries to live there. So I guess basically the writers wanted to clear up what would happen when a new family moves in, because I already know what they're doing for series 2, like I found that out ages ago. So yeah, so it's just like, what was I talking about now? I kind of lost my train of thought. Something about the family, okay, my mind's gone. Okay, jump cut, I lost my train of thought there, my mind just went completely blank there. So even though I didn't like I wasn't too fond of the new family moving to the house, that portion of the episode. Even though I wasn't too fond of it, I do understand why they did it, because it's basically showing to us, because they're kind of trying to wrap up this series, like trying to show you, well, you know, just answering all unanswered questions, and they answered most of them. I think there's 1 or 2 I think they did fail to answer. I'll get to them later, maybe, if I remember. But I do understand why they showed us this new family moving in and the Harmon family scaring them off. Because of course the question is what's going to happen when a new family moves in? And, well, the Harmon family will just try to scare them off, I guess, with the aid of some other ghosts. Without actually harming the family though. But yeah. So I do understand. I appreciate them having the new family moving in just to show us what the Harmon family would do. But again, like I said, I didn't like really like it, that portion of the show, although I appreciate them for having it there, because it kind of shows you what the Harmon family will do when a new family moves in. Anyway, next point, I think I rambled on about that for a bit too long. So, okay, so not much left to talk about here. But I'll just say this, the Christmas tree scene where they're decorating the Christmas tree, I really hated that scene. It was just really cheesy. I just didn't like it. Nah, wasn't for me. That wasn't. I didn't like it. But okay, so yeah, I think that's actually my thoughts in the finale. I don't really have anything to say. I have mixed feelings about it. It was good, I guess. It wasn't bad or okay, although I understand why a lot of people think it's bad or okay. Personally, I thought it was good. It wasn't great, it was just good. Definitely my least favourite episode of the series. However, so as a finale, I just expected something more. I expected the conflict to be more interesting than what it actually was. And they resolved the arc of the series within the first 15 minutes of the episode. So they introduced a new family for the last half an hour or so. So it was disappointing, although it was satisfying enough. For the finale, like I said, I expected more, but I'll live with it. It's like, I still immensely enjoyed the series. This TV show is great. I really enjoyed the series as a whole. And the finale hasn't ruined things for me. It was satisfying enough, let's just say that. And I don't have anything to say about the last scene, you know, where we find out that Constance is going to be raising a demon child, or Tatum's child, who just killed a nanny. I don't really have anything to say about that scene, except for the fact, I guess there's a possibility that they may revisit Constance's storyline in a later series, because I know they're doing an anthology format for the show. But I would imagine that they would return to the Constance storyline in a later series, because yeah, like they're bound to return to the murder house, or at least Constance at one point. That's what I'm expecting them to do. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the final episode of American Horror Story. Don't have anything else to say. So thanks for watching. Bye.